You talk about baseball. The World Series used to get 40 to 45 million viewers a year. This last year, last few years, it's gotten more in the neighborhood of 10 million viewers for the World Series. How much trouble is baseball in, and is there anything it can do to kind of restore, maybe not 40 million, but to restore some of its popularity?
Chris, I think long term, I'm extremely bullish. 200 years from now, I think baseball will be here, it'll be very healthy, it'll be growing. I think short term, we have some headwinds. And I think there's two fronts to that. Number one, there's a trust and transparency issue. Trust between players and owners, and trust between fans and players. The other part is the game has gone slower, and meaning more swing and misses, less action. I remember the days where a game would be 2 hours and there'll be a lot of action and there's pitchability. And look, some of the guys that hit the ball the furthest in my career are some of the worst hitters I've ever seen. And some of the pitchers that threw the hardest are some of the worst pitchers I ever saw. And unfortunately, our alignment today is promoting much more rock throwers and less pitchers, and much more guys like John Daly can hit the ball country mile, but are not great hitters.
So if you were suddenly the commissioner of baseball, and I'm talking short term, next few years, to try to goose it up, to try to get the ratings for the All-Star game or for the playoffs, the World Series, what would you do?
Number one thing is I would open up the floodgates. I think people like today demand more access than ever before. We have to be proactive. So meaning, I would put cameras on players that are driving to the park. I want to see them at home. Of course, everything, you can vet everything. The clubhouses, wide open. The clubhouses, the batting cages, the bullpens, interview players. There was recently, Juan Soto was interviewed.
During the All-Star game.
Yeah, it was wonderful. And
he was in the outfield, and he'd get ready, but in between pitches, he's sitting there talking to the announcers.
Yeah, and David Cohn asked him a question. He's like, oh my God, wait, there's a play in right center field. He made a great play. But my text started blowing up, and for 20 minutes, I was stuck. I was glued to the TV, and I got to know him better. It was win-win. The game wins, the team wins, and the game wins, which is most importantly.
One of the things that I know that football does is they own Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving, you're gonna fit Thanksgiving dinner in between the three NFL games. Is there anything baseball could do?
If you look at July 4th, it's a wide open day. There's no football, there's no basketball, there's no soccer. It's a national holiday. We celebrate the greatest country in the world where baseball is the American pastime. What a wonderful day to have just 4 games starting at noon, 3, 7, and 10, and say, today is going to be all about baseball. And every game, we're going to wire these guys, and we're going to have interviews, and everybody's at home watching baseball while they barbecue with their families.
Let's talk about your career in baseball. Over 22 seasons, and these numbers are astonishing. You hit 696 home runs, you won 3 Most Valuable Player awards, and you were a 14-time All-Star. But when you became eligible for the Hall of Fame this year, your name appeared on 34.3% of the ballots, and you need 75% to get in. Alex, how do you explain it?
Well, that's on me. I've made mistakes. I've talked about them. I served the longest suspension in Major League Baseball history
for taking performance-enhancing drugs.
And it was the most embarrassing moment of my career. And it was a mistake that I've now forgiven myself, but it took me a while. And Chris, it took a lot of turning the lens inward and doing a lot of therapy and understanding some of the mistakes and why I was making them, how it ties into my childhood. But when I think about those mistakes, is the biggest gift and the biggest curse of my life. I look at that and I think about that every single day that I did that to myself. And I hope that because of that mistake, the lesson is I get to be a better father, a better partner, a better friend, a better son, and hopefully other players can learn from my mistakes.
To the degree you feel comfortable sharing, you say that's on me and your childhood and therapy. I mean, help us understand, because you're such a gifted athlete, you were such a skilled and accomplished athlete, and you say, why on earth would Alex Rodriguez ever feel he had to cheat? And that's my question.
Yeah,
why?
It's a great question, Chris. And I think about And at some point, if I ever write a book or ever do a documentary, I will get into it deeper and deeper. Here's what I would say is surrounding yourself with the best people that are going to keep you accountable is very important. The other part is, and this is not an excuse, my father leaving at 10 I had a big void in my life. You know, I also had from age 15, when they said I was going to be the best player in the country at 15, to the age of 25, I had two coaches. That was Rich Hoffman, my high school coach, and Lou Piniella in Seattle. And Chris, I lament, I wish I had an extra 3 years with both of them, because both of them were mentors and took a little bit of a father figure. And sometimes you need a good kick in the ass. And I got it at 38 when finally Major League Baseball said, you know what, you're suspended for a year. The hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life was face my daughters, Natasha and Ella, and tell them this is the mistake that Daddy made. And here are the lessons that I learned. And I thought it was important as a father to have that moment, Chris, because I grew up getting kind of bullshitted a little bit. And I don't want my daughters to ever feel like they have to BS me, because you got to deal with the truth. The earlier, the better.
So, and this may be something you want to say nothing about, you certainly attract attention. And I want to ask you about one sort of inquiring mind's question about Jennifer Lopez, who you went out with for several years. You even set the date to get married, and then you broke up last year. Honestly, does it bother you that within days after you broke up that she was back to seeing Ben Affleck and that she ended up getting married to him, not you?
First of all, I would say I'm glad I'm not going to ever be a presidential candidate, because you would hammer me. No, with Jennifer, look, it was a good experience, and I wish her and the children, who are smart and beautiful and wonderful, I wish them the very best.
That's it?
That's it.
Okay. But I want to ask you one other question, not about her, because there is a long history of you dating women. You're young, you're single, why not? And a lot of them famous women. Do you think, I worked a lot on this question, Alex, do you think that you're good husband material, or do you think, honestly, that you just like the chase?
I think when you look at my life, Chris, I mentioned when I was 15 years old, and I think Sports Illustrated called me the top player in the country. And at that time, I was Alex Rodriguez. And then somewhere along the way, at 24, I get $252 million contract. And probably in Texas, I lost my way a little bit, and I became A-Rod. And I think after the suspension, I've worked myself through a lot of therapy and a lot of work to Alex Rodriguez. I think.
Wait, so time out. What's the difference between Alex Rodriguez and A-Rod?
I think when you think about it, it's the same difference between Alex Rodriguez, me, pre-suspension and post-suspension. I think pre-suspension, if you asked me what's winning look like, I would have said big contracts, home runs, World Series, you know, nice cars.
Women?
Women. Post-suspension, I look at more the team, building, being a great father, being a son, being a friend, high character, loyalty, all those things. So in my 20s, early 30s, probably not the best. I think I'm going to make a wonderful partner or husband and father post-suspension because of the lessons learned of my biggest mistakes.